Captain Jack Harper stood at the command console of his transport ship, the Horizon. His weathered hands guided the controls with practiced ease. The ship hummed softly around him as it cut through the emptiness of space. "Captain, we're picking up something strange," said Olivia, his communications officer. Her brow furrowed as she adjusted her headset. "It's faint, but it sounds like a distress call." Jack walked over to her station. "Let me hear it." Static crackled through the speakers, then a voice broken by interference. "Require immediate assistance. Children aboard. Attacked. Please help." "Can you clean it up?" Jack asked. Olivia's fingers flew across her console. "I'm trying. It's coming from the Helios sector." Jack frowned. "That's disputed territory. The Zalarian conflict zone." "Should we ignore it?" asked Ben, the pilot. His young face showed concern. "Fleet Command advised all civilian ships to avoid that entire region." Jack rubbed his chin, feeling the stubble there. "How far off our course is it?" "About 3 hours," Ben replied. Jack stared at the navigation display. His ship carried medical supplies bound for the outer colonies. People were waiting for those supplies, but a distress call was sacred among spacers. "Plot a course. We'll check it out, but stay alert. If it looks dangerous, we pull back immediately." 3 hours later, the Horizon approached a small battered ship drifting among debris. Its engines glowed weakly, and parts of its hull showed scorch marks from weapons fire. "Scan it," Jack ordered. Sam, the ship's engineer, studied his readings. Life signs present. Multiple small signatures. The ship's power systems are failing. Their life support is at maybe 40%. "Hail them," Jack said. After several attempts, the view screen flickered to life. A slender figure with pale blue skin and large dark eyes appeared, a female Zalarian, though Jack had only seen their kind in news reports about the civil war that had been raging in their system for the past 2 years. "This is the Earth Transport Horizon. We received your distress call. Can we provide assistance?" Jack asked. The Zalarian's voice trembled. "I am Nyala, educator and guardian. Our ship carries 27 children fleeing the conflict. Our adult protectors were killed in an attack 3 days ago. I am the only one left. Our systems are failing." Her large eyes blinked rapidly. "Please, we need help." Jack felt his chest tighten. "Children. Refugees. We'll help you," he said. "Can your ship still maneuver?" "Barely," Nyala replied. "Our navigation system is damaged." "Stand by," Jack said before turning to his crew. "Options?" "We could take them aboard," suggested Olivia. Sam shook his head. "Their ship is twice our size, even if it is damaged, and we don't have supplies or space for that many extras." "We could escort them to the nearest neutral station," Ben offered. "That would be Outpost 7, about 5 days from here." Jack considered this. 5 days through disputed space with a damaged refugee ship in tow. That's risky. "Captain," Olivia said quietly, "they're children." Jack looked at the view screen where Nyala waited anxiously. Behind her, he caught glimpses of small Zalarian children huddled together, their skin varying shades of blue and purple, their large eyes filled with fear. "We'll escort you to Outpost 7, Jack told Nyala. "Send us your system specs so we can help with repairs. We'll stay alongside you." Relief washed over Nyala's face. "Thank you, Captain. The children and I are grateful." After the transmission ended, Ben turned to Jack. "Sir, if we're spotted by either faction of the Zalarian military or pirates—" "I know the risks," Jack interrupted. "But we can't leave them. Set course for Outpost 7, minimum speed that their ship can match. Sam, prepare repair kits. Olivia, monitor all channels for any other ships in the area." As his crew moved to their tasks, Jack stared out at the damaged refugee ship. 27 children and 1 frightened guardian, alone in the darkness. Whatever happened next, he knew he had made the right choice. The Horizon glided alongside the refugee ship as they moved slowly through space. Jack spent hours talking with Nyala over the comm system, teaching her how to make basic repairs. Her slender blue fingers worked carefully inside damaged panels while following his instructions. You're doing great, Jack encouraged as she reconnected. A power coupling. Now close the panel and check if the secondary life support shows green. It works. Nyala's voice contained rare excitement. The air quality is improving already. Jack smiled. Good job. How are the children holding up? They are frightened but resilient, she replied. The youngest ones don't fully understand what has happened. On the third day, Sam detected something on the long-range scanners. Captain, we have a ship approaching fast from the Zalarian core systems. Jack checked the readings. Military patrol vessel. Heavy weapons. They'll intercept us in 20 minutes, Ben calculated, his voice tense. Jack opened the channel to Nyala. We have company coming. Military patrol. Can your ship handle increased speed? Fear flickered across Nyala's face. For a short time, perhaps. We need to change course. There's an asteroid field ahead to our right. It's dangerous. But the patrol ship is too large to follow us in there. The children, Nyala began. We'll be in more danger if that patrol catches us. Jack finished. I'll guide you through. Ben looked up from his console. Captain, that field is dense. Even for us, it's risky. We don't have a choice, Jack said firmly. Prepare for course change. The two ships turned toward the field of floating rocks. As they approached, Jack could see the enormity of the asteroid, some as large as his entire ship, spinning slowly in the void. Nyala, stay right behind us. Follow our exact path. Don't deviate. I understand, she said, her voice steady despite her fear. They entered the field with the patrol ship gaining on them. Jack stood behind Ben, watching as the young pilot expertly guided the horizon between massive rocks. The patrol ship is hailing us, Olivia reported. Ignore it, Jack ordered. Keep communications only with the refugee ship. The asteroids grew denser. Twice, the horizon shuddered as smaller rocks scraped against their shields. Behind them, Nyala's ship followed, moving awkwardly but staying on course. The patrol ship has stopped at the edge of the field, Sam announced. They're not following. Collective sigh of relief filled the bridge, but it was short-lived. They're powering weapons, Olivia shouted. They're going to fire into the field, Jack realized. Nyala, increase speed now. The refugee ship lurched forward, just as energy beams struck asteroids behind them, causing a chain reaction of explosions. Debris shot in all directions. Evasive maneuvers, Jack ordered, as a large chunk of rock tumbled toward them. Ben banked the ship hard, narrowly avoiding collision. Behind them, Nyala's ship took a glancing blow from a smaller fragment. Their shields flashed blue with the impact. Nyala, report, Jack called urgently. Her face appeared on screen, a cut visible on her forehead. We are damaged but functional. 2 children are hurt, not seriously. Stay with us, Jack said. We're almost through. For hours, they navigated the treacherous field, the patrol ship eventually disappearing from their scanners. When they finally emerged on the other side, both ships were battered but intact. That night, after setting course for Outpost 7, Jack arranged a video connection to the refugee ship's common area. The Zalarian children gathered around, their large eyes wide with curiosity at seeing a human. Hello? Jack said gently. My name is Captain Jack. My friends and I are going to help. You reach somewhere safe. A small Zalarian child stepped forward, barely taller than Jack's knee would be if he were there. Are you a hero? The child asked in a soft voice. From the side of the screen, Jack saw Nyala watching him, her expression unreadable but intense. No, Jack answered honestly. I'm just doing what's right. Jack settled into a routine over the next few days. Each morning he would check in with Nyala about the ship's systems. In the afternoon, he connected with the children through video calls. The little Zalarians were shy at first, but gradually became more comfortable with him. Today I want to teach you a human game, Jack said during one call. 23 small blue and purple faces looked back at him from the screen. The other 4 children were resting. What kind of game? Asked one of the older children, a girl with deep violet skin named Leary. It's called I Spy. I look at something and say, I spy with my little eye something that is, and then I name a color. You try to guess what I'm looking at." The children glanced at each other, confused but curious. "I'll start," Jack said. "I spy with my little eye something that is silver." The children looked around their common room, pointing at different metal objects. Finally, a small boy named Taz spoke up. "The food dispenser?" "That's right." Jack smiled. "Now you try." Soon the children were laughing and playing, their earlier fear temporarily forgotten. From the corner of the screen, Jack noticed Nyala, watching. For the first time since they met, a hint of a smile touched her lips. Later that night, an emergency call came from the refugee ship. Jack rushed to the bridge in his sleep clothes. "What's happening?" he asked as Nyala's worried face appeared on screen. "It's Mika," she said. "One of our youngest. She's very sick with fever. We have few medical supplies left." "Describe her symptoms," Jack said, grabbing a data pad to take notes. After Nyala explained, Jack consulted with Olivia, who had basic medical training. "It sounds like Larkian fever," Olivia said. "We have medicine that might help in our cargo, but I don't know if it's safe for Zilarians." Jack thought for a moment. "Sam, can you set up a small airlock transfer between our ships?" Sam nodded. "It'll be tricky while moving, but I can do it." "Good. Nyala, I'm coming over to check on Mika myself." His crew looked surprised. "Captain, is that wise?" Ben asked. "We have environment suits. Their atmosphere is breathable for humans with just minor adjustments. I need to see the child to know how to help." 2 hours later, Jack floated through the makeshift connection between the ships. He carried a sealed medical kit and wore a lightweight environment suit with a clear helmet. Nyala waited on the other side, her large eyes watching his every move. "Thank you for coming," she said formally as he entered their ship. Jack followed her through narrow corridors to a small sleeping area. Little Mika lay on a bed, her normally blue skin pale and ashen. Her breathing came in quick, shallow gasps. Jack knelt beside her and opened his kit. "I brought several medications. This scanner will tell us which one is safe for her physiology." He worked gently, scanning Mika's small body and checking the results. Finally, he prepared a dose of medicine. "This should help reduce her fever. It's safe for her, but we'll need to monitor her closely." Nyala watched as Jack administered the treatment. "You are kind to a child who is not your own species," she observed. Jack looked up. "A child is a child. It doesn't matter where they come from." They sat together beside Mika for hours. Slowly, her breathing eased and her color improved. By morning, she was sleeping peacefully. As Jack prepared to return to his ship, Nyala stopped him. "Our supplies are running low. The children are hungry." Jack nodded. "We'll share what we have. It won't be much, but we'll make it to Outpost 7. "Why are you doing this?" Nyala asked suddenly. "Why risk yourself and your crew for us?" Jack considered her question seriously. "Because when I see those children, I see the future, and everyone deserves a chance at a future." Nyala reached out hesitantly, then placed her hand against Jack's suited arm in what he realized was a gesture of profound respect in Zilarian culture. "My people have a saying," she said softly. "The one who protects children holds tomorrow in their hands." Jack smiled. "I like that saying." Jack stood on the bridge of the horizon, watching the swirling gases of a large nebula growing closer on the view screen. They had changed course twice more to avoid detection, adding days to their journey. Supplies were running dangerously low. "Captain, we have a problem," Sam said, looking up from his console. "The refugee ship's engine efficiency is dropping. They're burning too much fuel trying to maintain speed." Jack frowned. "Can we transfer any of our fuel reserves to them?" "Some, but not enough to make a big difference," Sam replied. "Their system is different from ours. They need specialized fuel cells." Jack opened a channel to Nyala. "We need to reduce speed to conserve your fuel. It will add another day to our journey." But he stopped mid-sentence as alarms blared across the bridge. "Captain!" Olivia shouted. "Ship dropping out of hyperspace directly ahead of us." A sleek black vessel materialized in front of them, its weapons ports already open. "Evasive maneuvers," Jack ordered, but it was too late. The enemy ship fired a warning shot that blazed past the horizon's bow. "They're hailing us," Olivia said. Jack nodded grimly. A harsh face appeared on screen, not Zalarian but human. A mercenary. "This is Commander Vask of the Wraith," the man said. "We know you're carrying Zalarian refugees. Hand them over immediately." "We're transporting children to safety," Jack replied. "They're no threat to anyone." Vask smiled coldly. "They're worth a lot to the right Zalarian faction. Last chance. Move aside or be destroyed." Jack cut the transmission and turned to his crew. "Protect the refugee ship at all costs. Ben, put us between them and the Wraith." "Sir, they outgun us 5-1, Ben protested. "Do it anyway," Jack said firmly. The Horizon moved into position, shielding the refugee vessel. "Open a channel to Nyala," Jack ordered. When her worried face appeared, he spoke quickly. "We're going to distract them. When I give the signal, take your ship into the nebula. The radiation will hide you from their sensors." "But what about you?" Nyala asked, her voice tight with concern. "We'll be right behind you, trust me." The Wraith fired again, this time hitting the Horizon directly. The ship shuddered violently. "Shields at 60%, Sam reported. "Return fire," Jack ordered. "Target their weapon systems only." The Horizon's much smaller weapons struck the mercenary ship, doing minimal damage. "Now Nyala," Jack shouted as the Wraith prepared to fire again. "Go!" The refugee ship lurched forward, making for the cover of the nebula. The Wraith immediately. "Change course to pursue." "Oh, no you don't," Jack muttered. "Ben, ram them." "What?" Ben looked shocked. "Not a direct hit. Just clip their sensor array. Knock out their targeting systems." Ben swallowed hard, then nodded. The Horizon surged forward, engines screaming in protest. They struck the larger ship at an angle, tearing across its upper hull. Both ships spun. From the impact, the Horizon's bridge sparked with electrical fires as systems overloaded. "Shields critical," Sam yelled over the noise. "Hull breach on deck 3. Jack held onto his chair as the ship stabilized. "Did it work?" Olivia checked her readings. "Their main weapons are offline. They can't target properly." "Get us into the nebula," Jack ordered. "Maximum speed." The damaged Horizon limped toward the nebula with the Wraith following slowly behind. As they entered the swirling gases, radiation interference scrambled their sensors. The Wraith fired blindly several times, but the shots went wide. Inside the nebula, Jack found the refugee ship hiding behind a dense cluster of gases. "Captain." Nyala's voice came through, filled with static. "Are you injured?" "We're alive," Jack responded, wiping blood from a cut on his forehead. "But the Horizon is badly damaged. We need to make repairs." "You risked everything," Nyala said softly. Through the video feed, Jack could see the Zalarian children huddled behind her, their large eyes wide with fear and awe. "It was worth it," Jack said simply. Later, as his crew worked to repair critical systems, Olivia approached him privately. "You know they'll keep hunting us," she said. "The bounty on those children must be enormous." Jack nodded. "Then we better fix this ship fast. Those kids deserve their chance at freedom, and I intend to see they get it." The twin suns of Outpost 7 gleamed against the station's metal surface as the two damaged ships approached. Jack had never seen a more welcome sight. After nearly 2 weeks of running, hiding, and fighting, they had finally reached Sanctuary. "Outpost 7 Control, this is Captain Jack Harper of the Civilian Transport Horizon," he said into the comm, "requesting emergency docking for ourselves and a refugee vessel." "Horizon, this is Control. We've been monitoring your approach. You're pretty banged up. What's your situation?" Jack took a deep breath. "We have 27 Zalarian children aboard the secondary vessel. They're refugees from the Civil War. We need immediate asylum protection and medical assistance." There was a long pause before Control responded. "Stand by for docking instructions. Security teams will meet you upon arrival." As they docked, Jack contacted Nyala. "We made it, but stay alert. The reception might not be entirely friendly." When the airlock doors opened, a dozen armed security officers stood waiting. Their commander, a stern woman named Diane Powell, stepped forward. "Captain Harper, Your crew and the refugees will be detained until we sort this out. Harboring Zalarian nationals during an active conflict is a serious matter. Jack stood his ground. These are children, Commander. They need protection, not detention. After tense negotiations, the security team agreed to house the Zalarian children in a comfortable but guarded section of the station. Nyala refused to leave them, so Jack visited daily, bringing small treats and toys he traded for with his personal belongings. On the third day, Jack met with the station's administrator, Gregory Adams. Your situation is complicated, Captain, Adams said, looking tired. The Zalarian Provisional Government is demanding the return of the children. They claim they're not refugees, but were kidnapped. That's absurd, Jack replied. Their transport was attacked. Their guardians were killed. Adams spread his hands. I believe you, but we're a neutral station. We can't simply grant asylum without proper process. Then start the process, Jack insisted. These children deserve protection under the Galactic Refugee Accord. That will require testimony and evidence, Adams warned, and official recognition of their guardian status. Later, Jack explained the situation to Nyala in the children's quarters. The young Zalarians played nearby, enjoying their first sense of security in weeks. I don't understand this guardian status, Nyala said, frowning. Under galactic law, refugee children need a legally recognized guardian to represent their interests, Jack explained. As their educator, you have a claim to that role, but it needs to be formalized. Nyala's large eyes blinked rapidly, a sign of distress in Zalarians. Our traditions are different. In our culture, the role of Thala, one who guides children, is sacred and automatic. It requires no external validation. Jack nodded. I'll explain that to the authorities. In the meantime, I have friends in the Interstellar Aid Association. I've contacted them for help. Days passed as Jack worked, tirelessly, calling in favors from old contacts and arguing the children's case to anyone who would listen. His crew helped too, with Olivia documenting the children's stories and Sam repairing the refugee ship. One evening, as Jack sat with Nyala watching the children eat dinner, she suddenly asked, "What will happen to you when this is over?" Jack hadn't thought that far ahead. I suppose I'll continue my transport business. We were delivering medical supplies when we found you. You have sacrificed much for us, Nyala said quietly. Your ship is damaged. Your cargo is delayed. Jack shrugged. Some things are more important. A small Zalarian girl approached them, offering Jack a drawing she had made. It showed crude figures of different colors standing together under stars. This is you, she said, pointing to a pink figure. And this is Nyala, and all of us, together. Jack smiled, deeply touched. It's beautiful, thank you. As the girl returned to her friends, Jack noticed Nyala watching him with an intensity that made him look away, suddenly self-conscious. That night, a message arrived from the station administrator. 2 officials from the Galactic Council would arrive tomorrow to begin asylum proceedings. But also coming was a diplomatic delegation from the Zalarian government, demanding custody of the children. The real fight, Jack realized, is just beginning. Jack packed a small bag in his temporary quarters on Outpost 7. The summons had come that morning. His presence was required at the Galactic Council headquarters to testify about the Zalarian children. The journey would take him away for at least 2 weeks. I don't want to leave them, he told Olivia as she helped him gather his things, especially not with that Zalarian delegation pressuring the station administrator. We'll protect them, Olivia assured him. Sam and Ben are staying, and I've made friends with the security team. No one will take those kids while you're gone. Jack nodded, but worry still creased his face. I need to tell Nyala. He found her in the children's common room teaching them a Zalarian counting game. When she saw him with his travel bag, her expression fell. You're leaving, she said. It wasn't a question. Jack nodded. The council needs my testimony to process the asylum claim. I'll be gone 2 weeks. The children gathered around when they realized what was happening. Little Mika, now fully recovered from her illness, clung to Jack's leg. No go, she said in her simple English. The children had been learning the language quickly. Jack knelt down. I have to go so you can stay safe. I'll come back soon. He looked up at Nyala, who stood very still, her hands clasped tightly together. Can we talk privately? They stepped into a small side room while Olivia distracted the children with stories. The Zilarian delegation will try to take custody while I'm gone, Jack said. Don't let the children out of your sight. I won't, Nyala promised. But I'm worried about you. The Zilarian government has powerful friends. They may try to discredit you or worse. Jack smiled. I've faced worse odds. Nyala hesitated, then reached out to touch his hand. In our culture, we believe that when souls travel together through danger, they become connected. Her large eyes looked directly into his. Be careful, Jack Harper. You carry a piece of us with you now. Something in her voice made Jack's heart beat faster. He squeezed her hand gently. I'll come back. That's a promise. The days after Jack's departure were difficult for Nyala. The children asked for him constantly. The youngest ones didn't understand where he had gone or why. At night, Nyala found herself unable to sleep, wondering if he was safe. The Zilarian delegation made their presence known immediately. Their leader, Minister Krozak, was tall even for a Zilarian, with dark blue skin and cold eyes. These children belong with their own kind, he told Nyala during a formal meeting. Your status as their guardian is not recognized by our government. Their parents sent them away for safety, Nyala replied firmly. I will honor their wishes. Krozak leaned closer. You are naive. These children are valuable. Some come from important families. Their political value is significant. They are not political tools, Nyala said, trying to keep her voice steady. They are children. Later, she learned from Olivia that the delegation had filed a formal challenge to her guardianship. Without Jack's testimony about the attack on their ship, her position was weakened. One night, a week after Jack left, Nyala gathered the children for their evening meal. As they ate, little Taz looked up at her with serious eyes. Where is Jack really? He asked. The other children say, he won't come back. Nyala sat down beside him. Who says this? Minister Krozak told Leary that humans always leave, that they don't really care about Zilarians. Anger flashed through Nyala. That is not true. Jack risked his life for you all. He fought when he could have run away. He shared his food when you were hungry. He will return. But as she said the words, doubt crept into her heart. What if Jack decided the risk was too great? What if he was prevented from returning? That night, alone in her quarters, Nyala realized something that both frightened and exhilarated her, somewhere during their dangerous journey. During the quiet moments watching Jack care for the children during his brave defense of their ship, she had developed feelings for this human that went far beyond gratitude. Come back to us, she whispered to the stars. Come back to me. Jack returned to Outpost 7 with dark circles under his eyes but a triumphant smile on his face. The shuttle docked smoothly, and he was the first passenger out, striding quickly through the arrival area. Where are they? He asked as soon as he spotted Olivia waiting for him. Still in the East Wing residential section, she replied, matching his quick pace. Jack, things got complicated while you were gone. The Zilarian delegation has been working overtime to undermine Nyala's position. Jack's jaw tightened. Did you get my message about the council's decision? Yes, but it just arrived yesterday. We haven't had time to process the paperwork. When they reached the children's quarters, Jack paused outside the door. How is she? Olivia gave him a knowing look. Missing you, though she'd never admit it. Jack took a deep breath and entered. The common room erupted into chaos as the children spotted him. They rushed forward, small blue and purple bodies surrounding him, tiny hands reaching up. Jack back, Mika shouted, jumping until he picked her up. You came back, said Leary, the older girl, sounding surprised. Of course I did, Jack said, looking around the room. I promised I would. Then he saw Nyala standing across the room watching. For a moment, neither of them moved. Then she walked toward him, her steps measured and dignified as always. but her eyes betrayed her emotion. "Captain Harper," she said, formally. "Your journey was successful?" Jack handed Mika to Olivia and stepped closer to Nyala. "Yes, the Council has granted preliminary asylum status to all 27 children, and they've officially recognized you as their legal guardian." Joy flashed across Nyala's face, but it quickly turned to concern. "The Zalarian delegation won't accept this easily. That's why we need to move quickly," Jack said. "The Council has assigned a permanent home for you all, a colony world called Haven. It's peaceful, with both human and alien settlements. You'll be safe there." As they discussed the details, an alarm suddenly blared throughout the station. Red emergency lights began flashing in the corridors. "What's happening?" Nyala asked, gathering the frightened children close. Jack's comm unit buzzed. It was Ben. "Captain, we've got trouble. The Zalarian delegation's ship just forcibly docked. At the east portal, they've got armed men heading your way." They're making their move, Jack realized. They know about the Council's decision. "What do we do?" Nyala asked, her voice steady despite her fear. Jack quickly assessed their options. "The refugee ship is ready. Sam finished the repairs last week. We need to get the children there now." They moved quickly, organizing the children into groups. Olivia led the first group through back corridors, using her security clearance to bypass locked sections. Jack and Nyala were preparing to move the last group when the door to their quarters burst open. Minister Krozak stormed in with 4 armed guards. "This is an illegal removal of Zalarian nationals," Krozak announced. "Step away from the children." Jack stepped forward. "These children have been granted asylum by the Galactic Council. You have no authority here." Krozak smiled coldly. "This station is currently experiencing a security emergency. During such times, the safety of our nationals becomes our responsibility." "They're not going with you," Jack said firmly, moving to block their path. The guards raised their weapons. Nyala pushed the remaining children behind her. "You would risk violence?" she asked Krozak. "In front of children?" "They are too valuable to lose," Krozak replied. "Stand aside, both of you." Instead, Jack lunged forward, tackling the nearest guard. The surprise move created confusion. Nyala seized the moment to usher the children toward the back exit. As Jack fought, he saw Nyala hesitate at the door. "Go," he shouted. "Get them to safety." But instead of running, Nyala picked up a fallen guard's weapon. She moved with unexpected skill, firing a stun shot that dropped another guard. Back to back, Jack and Nyala defended the children until station security finally arrived, alerted by Olivia. The Zalarian delegation was detained for violating station protocols. Later, as they prepared the refugee ship for immediate departure, Jack looked at Nyala with new respect. "Where did you learn to fight like that?" he asked. Nyala's lips curved in a small smile. "Before I was an educator, I was in Zalarian Defense Forces. I left when the Civil War started." Her expression grew serious. "Jack, when I thought they might hurt you." She stopped, seemingly unable to find the words. Jack reached out slowly and took her hand. "I know," he said softly. "I feel the same way." The colony world of Haven lived up to its name. Rolling green hills stretched toward distant purple mountains. 2 small moons hung in the pale blue sky. Jack stood outside the simple but spacious building that would house the Zalarian children and Nyala. "What do you think?" he asked as Nyala joined him on the porch. "It's beautiful," she said, her large eyes taking in the peaceful landscape. "The children will be safe here." 3 weeks had passed since their escape from Outpost 7. The journey to Haven had been quiet, with no sign of pursuit. The Galactic Council had issued formal protection orders, making any further attempts to take the children illegal under interstellar law. Inside the house, the children were exploring their new home with excitement. Their voices drifted through open windows, laughing, calling to each other, arguing over rooms. "They sound happy," Jack observed. Nyala nodded. "They adapt quickly. It is a gift of childhood." A comfortable silence fell between them. Jack had been avoiding the question that had weighed on him throughout their journey to Haven. Now he could no longer delay it. "I should be leaving soon," he said finally. "The horizon is repaired, and I have contracts waiting." Nyala turned to look at him, her blue face unreadable. "Yes. You have your own life to return to." "The thing is," Jack continued, rubbing the back of his neck, "I'm not sure I want to return to it." "What do you mean?" Nyala asked softly. Jack looked out at the landscape, gathering his thoughts. "Before I met you, all of you, I was just moving from job to job. Cargo runs, supply deliveries. It paid the bills, but—" He shrugged. "It didn't matter much. And now? Now I've found something that matters." Jack turned to face her. "Someone who matters." Nyala's breathing quickened, but she remained silent, waiting for him to continue. "I was thinking," Jack said, "maybe Haven needs a transport pilot. Someone to make supply runs, keep in touch with the outside world." "The colony does need such services," Nyala agreed, a hint of a smile forming. "But what of your ship, your crew?" "Olivia is staying. She's taken a position with the colony's education center. Ben and Sam want to continue transport work. I've offered to sell them the horizon." "You would give up your ship?" Nyala seemed shocked. Jack smiled. "It's just a ship. I can build a smaller one here, something just for local runs." Nyala stepped closer to him. "Jack Harper, are you saying you wish to stay on Haven with us?" "With you," Jack clarified. "I mean with all of you, but—" He took a deep breath. "Especially with you, Nyala." Nyala was quiet for a long moment. Then she said, "In Zilarian culture there is a concept called Valinka. It means chosen family, when adults commit to raising children together who are not their biological offspring." "Like adoption?" Jack asked. "Similar, but more. It is a binding of souls as well as responsibilities." She looked into his eyes. "When a Zilarian chooses Valinka with another, it is a life commitment." Jack understood what she was asking. "On Earth, we have something similar. When two people love each other and want to raise a family together." "Love," Nyala repeated the word carefully. "This is the human emotion of deep connection." "Yes," Jack said simply. "I love you, Nyala. I think I have since you stood up to protect those kids when everything was against you." Nyala's eyes shimmered with emotion. "And I love you, Jack Harper. Since you risked everything to save children who were not your own." Little footsteps pounded on the wooden floor inside, and suddenly the doorway filled with curious Zilarian children. "Is Jack staying?" Leary asked hopefully. Jack looked at Nyala, who extended her hand to him. He took it, feeling the smooth texture of her blue skin against his. "Yes," he said, smiling at the children. "I'm staying." That evening, as the sun set over Haven, casting golden light across their new home, Jack sat on the porch with Nyala. The children were finally asleep after an excited day. "Are you certain of this path?" Nyala asked, her head resting against his shoulder. "It will not always be easy. We come from different worlds." Jack watched the stars beginning to appear in the darkening sky. "The way I see it, we've already faced pirates, mercenaries, and government officials together. Everything else should be simple by comparison." Nyala laughed softly. "Perhaps not simple, but worth the journey, worth every step." Jack agreed, and gently kissed the top of her head. Inside, 27 Zilarian children slept peacefully, no longer refugees but home at last, with two guardians who had crossed the stars to create a family none of them had expected to find.